everyone, welcome to Lou on 2. Do you love it? You know, when you make YouTube videos, and you've probably seen, well, you see it as a viewer, everyone's always trying to come up with clever, catchy titles for their videos. Now, I don't know that Lou on 2 is clever, catchy, or whatever, but I kind of like it, so that's all that matters. There. I would love on Tuesdays. My life is so unpredictable. I know you're all kind of tired of hearing that, but if you're seeing this for the first time ever, my husband is stage 4 cancer with a really rare, really aggressive cancer. That's why it's unpredictable. But I would like to every Tuesday do something that, you know, makeup related, not makeup related, telling you what's good and bad on YouTube. I don't know, just anything. But today, I don't know why, probably because I've been eating a lot of it, we all have been, is I'm going to do a cooking video. I'm using a camera I'm not used to. I'm not using the one I'm working on now, so the quality may be completely different. And I'm using a tripod. And you know, all you see are my hands, which is kind of odd, but it's a cooking, you know. And let's just say I did my best. I am filming this introduction after the cooking part of this, so I know what it looks like. And anyway, so that's what I'm doing today. It's a fresh mozzarella and tomato salad, for lack of a better word. I would venture to say many of you have made something very similar. It's almost a bruschetta. Really, it could be a bruschetta if you chop everything up finely. Fine, you know, chop it fine, small, anyway. So that's what I'm starting Lou on 2 with, and I figured that way I can get out of the way. And if I think of something else that's extremely simple, I might do that. I don't intend for this to be, for Lou on 2 to be cooking, but we shall see how that goes. And wait, I'm using yet another camera, and I don't know if I should be looking at the screen or the camera. Anyway, I do have my trusty new jumbo-sized. So let's take you cooking. Hi everyone, so here I am, as mentioned, my first ever, probably last ever, cooking video for my opening act on Lou on 2. Anyway, I'm going to make a fresh mozzarella and tomato salad, which is really great on French bread, crackers. It's very similar to bruschetta. It's not quite bruschetta because it's not quite as basil-y, and it's not as garlicky, but it easily could be. So here we go. I want to start by showing you. What am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to show you ingredients? Well, anyway, let's start this way. This is the bowl that I will eventually put everything in and toss with a spoon. Oh my goodness, I can't. I use fresh mozzarella. This one is from, maybe I should pan out a little bit more. Hold on, oh geez. Okay, I don't know. This one is fresh mozzarella I get at Costco. It's actually a double. I've been using the other half. It's in a seal bag because we make this quite often. But any fresh mozzarella, you can buy it in big pieces. You can buy it in a little tub that's kind of water-filled. I forget the bocciolini. I don't remember the name of the little balls of it. Did she just say that? She sure did. Ovals, whatever. And I think in some of your delis, they might sell it fresh for you. Now, salt. We love salt in this house. If you don't, then you can certainly omit. The pesto. To me, this is the most important thing. This one is from Aldi's. It's called Priano alla Genovese pesto sauce. I'm pretty sure the only place you can buy this is Aldi's, because Aldi's mostly has, for the most part, is Aldi specific brands. Anyway, whichever pesto you like. The reason I like this one is because I do not like the taste of olive oil. So in most places, I don't get pesto sauce because everyone is very into authentic olive oil, and I don't like olive oil. The first ingredient in this one, I think, is safflower oil, or sunflower oil. So that's why I like this one. So whichever pesto, and if you happen to make your own, I have no idea why you're watching this, but if you make your own, bless your heart, make your own. And then optional, I don't use a lot of it. If you like oregano, we like pepper, so I use a lot of pepper. If you don't, again, optional. And garlic. Now, normally I would use fresh pressed garlic. I would use my garlic press, but at the moment, my husband is not. He loves garlic, fresh garlic. He could eat a clove of raw garlic, but lately his appetite is a little different and he's not wanting it, so I just drizzle a little garlic. And then tomatoes. You want to get, okay, so this is the only part I'm insistent about. You really need to get great tomatoes. You know, the vine ripened tomatoes, or if you know someone at this time of year who happens to have garden tomatoes, but you want them to be a juicy, ripe, garden tasting. If you're just going to buy the run-of-the-mill grocery tomatoes, like, seriously, I wouldn't even bother to make this, because the garden tomato taste is what really makes it. That and the pesto, whichever is your pesto of choice. And these, I always get these at Costco. We eat a lot of tomatoes in this house. And they had some of the larger ones, but I just happen to use Campari, but really any garden, you know, the ones with the little, you know, these little like stems and things on them. And so that's it. And then I have my plate and my knife. I already have, so let me see if I can show you this. This large fresh mozzarella from Costco and probably other brands, it comes slightly pre-sliced. Can you see that? So my rule of thumb, and you know, I don't know, I probably should weigh this for you, huh? I'm sure most of you watching this have cooked many meals. My rule of thumb in our house is 1 Campari tomato to 1 slice. And it's not a rule, excuse me. You like more mozzarella? Put in more mozzarella. You like more tomato? Put in more tomato. And I always start with the tomatoes. So I slice them up, and I will be right back as soon as I'm done with this. I chunk them up. I don't slice them up, I chunk them up. So here you have, I have the sliced tomatoes. I'm going to go ahead and then now kind of chop them and dice them, but look how beautiful and red they are. As fresh as garden tomato, almost as fresh as a garden tomato and tasting, and I can smell it. It's wonderful. Okay, the tomatoes are all chopped up. And I'm going to go ahead and put them in this bowl. I want all that juice, as much juice as I can get from the tomatoes. And I like to season it now because I don't like tossing the fresh mozzarella, or I should say I like to do it as little as possible. So here we have the tomatoes. Let me see if I can zoom you in. Oh my goodness, what a project. Anyway, so here we have the tomatoes. I am going to start with the pesto. This is a regular household, teaspoon. Oops, I'm so sorry. So this is a regular household teaspoon you use for your coffee. And you can see it's not quite heaping, but almost heaping. It's certainly not level. And then I use salt. I'm going to pull you back out a little bit. Again, you could skip everything at this point and just put the cheese in next. You know, that's how much I salt it. I'm going to say it's certainly less than half a teaspoon, that's for sure. Well, you know, and it's one of those things you taste as you go along. So there I am stirring this. We love black pepper in the house, so we're, you know, it's a pretty good amount of black pepper. I realize now I probably should measure things. I don't like when people don't measure things, but again, most of my viewers have been cooking a really long time and you know what we're doing. All right. Now, I don't add a lot of oregano, barely a few sprinkles. flakes. And normally, again, I would use crushed or you know, pressed garlic, fresh garlic, but that's not the case. So I am sprinkling garlic powder. Not garlic salt, garlic powder. Now, if you want, I forgot to mention this, I'll be right back. Our house, at least. I add a little bit of balsamic vinegar. We use a lot of it, so we have a big bottle, but let's see. Maybe a teaspoon? Okay, and now I'm going to chop up the fresh cheese. Okay, the cheese is chunked up. We like them relatively large chunks. You can make them smaller. You can, oh, here we go again. You can make them smaller. You can make them bigger, you know, whatever your preference is. And here I go, putting the cheese right into here. And we are pretty much done. So I don't taste this for maybe half an hour. I like to have this warm versus cold. I feel like it's just tastier when it's warm, and it's juicier. And you really, some people like to dunk their bread in it. If you put this in the fridge, the juice gets solidified, is that the word? More solidified than normal. So that's the ratio of, all right, let's try this again. That's the ratio of, in our house, that we like tomatoes to. And I'll be honest with you, that's a big reason. I've certainly used other fresh mozzarellas, and I've certainly used other kinds of tomatoes, but it's just so easy. And, you know, it's all a matter of judgment. Some of these Campari tomatoes, as you can see here, where am I? Look, oops. There's a big difference. They're not all the same size. So you would have to use, your judgment, and you can add as you like. So, and I don't like to taste it right away. I want the flavors to all mingle a little bit, and then I'll taste it and see, do I need more salt? Do I need more pepper? Do I need more balsamic? Do I need more, whatever it is, salt? For us, it's usually salt. But that's it. And you let it sit, let it marinate a little bit. And in our house, we use a French baguette, very crusty, or French bread. And, I'll cut a piece of the French bread. Oops. I'll cut a piece of the French bread, slice it open, and just put this in like it's a sandwich. And I eat, that's no meat, I just eat it like this. If you want more meat or more whatever, certainly you could chunk up Italian salami, pepperoni, whatever you like, even pieces of ham. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this was the first Lou on 2. Whew, hope you enjoyed it. I'll be back with an ending message. Well, and there she is. My first Lou on 2. Cooking, of all things, on my beauty, makeup, hair care, and skincare channel. I start with, it is funny, I start with a cooking video. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. It was, let's see, was it a blast making it? Kind of, sort of, maybe, not really. Okay. It was, hey, gotta try new things, right? Anyway, so that is it. Clearly you can modify that any way you want. To me, it's the cheese, it's the really great tasting tomatoes, and the pesto. Other than that, everything else, add meat, add more balsamic vinegar, don't add any at all. With fresh pressed garlic, it's delicious. Chop it finer to make a bruschetta. Chop up fresh basil leaves. Oh, it's in this world. you know, it's always a little different, and it's all really to taste. But, you know, if you're nervous about ingredients, for some reason, maybe you're new to cooking, just use the pesto. Buy your favorite pesto, start with just the pesto sauce and taste it and say, gee, I'd like a little more, you know, but let it sit, let it absorb, you know, 15, 20 minutes, and then taste it and say, I would like a little more garlic. I'd like a little more oregano, or I'd like maybe a little tangier, so I'll add some balsamic. It's up to you. So thank you so much for connecting with me on my first Lulu on 2. Don't know if I'll ever do cooking ones again, or if I'm really going to stick to what I know, which is makeup, skincare, hair care, and beauty. So we'll see about that. I will tell you very quickly what I'm wearing today, so we can at least have a little bit of beauty, right? Foundation is YSL Fusion Ink, which is no longer available. They replaced it with the All Hour that launched a couple months ago. And I have a huge sample of that from Sephora, and it's outstanding. It is, as to me, I like this. And it is probably in some ways better for even more skin types. This one is a serum foundation, which I love. I love serum foundations. That one is a little thicker. Anyway, my foundation today is good old Tarte Shape Tape. Does anybody use anything but this? I mean, of course they do. I do. But geez, they just really hit it out of the park with this one. And I use a lot of bronzer when I'm on camera, because otherwise I'm just like Casper the Ghost. I'm using MAC Golden. This is in special edition packaging for the launch of Under the Sea or something, Aquatic something. But Golden is a staple in their inventory. The blush I'm using is Narcissist. Narcissist. And it is the, what is it called? Extra Dimension one, I believe. And I just take my brush and, boy, these look dark. Well, they are kind of dark. Anyway, I just take my, you know, they don't pick up, your brush doesn't pick up a lot of pigment on these, which is why they look so soft and gentle. And anyway, so I just sweep my brush across all 3 of these and just put it on. And more bronzer. Maybe overdid it a little today. It's okay. I kind of like the look, actually. And I have a trial size of the Givenchy mascara. It's good. It's fine. Do you want to see the brush, in case you're wondering? It's kind of, you know, fat at the bottom, not so much at the top, which makes it nice to grab inner and outer lashes at the same time. Let me think, what else? On my brows, as usual, is Anastasia brow powder in medium brown. And then on my eyes, I have, under the brow bone, I have my good old Creme Brulee from Wet n Wild. As you know, after I put my shadow primer on, I do a very, very light dusting and kind of buff it in, all from lash to bone. And then, but just a light dusting so it doesn't interfere with the actual powder shadows. And then on in my crease, I blended out NYX, NYX, NYX. It is NYX. It's not NYX, it's NYX. She's the goddess of darkness. Goddess of Midnight. It's NYX. It's a name, NYX. And in Triste, they're square now. This is an older one, but these single pots, I believe, are square now. And then finally, on my lids, I have Laura Geller. It's the line of Baked Brulee eyeshadows. So you could use them wet if you wanted to. You could foil them. And this is called Orange Blossom, but honestly, I think this is much more of a gold. And I don't know why everybody does this, so I'm going to do it. I'll pull you in. Oh, the life of a YouTube. Oh, this doesn't look very good blended, does it? Maybe it's the lighting. Okay, so thank you so much for joining Lulu on 2, and I will be doing more of these, probably again, more in my expertise of beauty, makeup, skincare, and hair care. Thanks so much. Take care. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Evening, probably, by the time this goes up. Well, I don't know when you're watching it, so it could be day, it could be evening.